If you've ever had a competitor steal your exact business model, copy your marketing or your funnel, and undercut your prices, this video is going to change how you think about your competition forever. And I'm going to show you why being copied is actually a sign that you're winning and that your specific strategies or these specific strategies that make your business impossible to replicate. Now, first of all, let's reframe what's happening when your competitors copy you in the first place. First of all, it's not a threat. It's a validation that you've built something worth stealing. Think about it logically. Nobody copies a failing business, right? They copy successful ones. And when somebody steals your business model, they're essentially admitting that what you've got and what you've built works better than what they came up with there on their own, right? But here's what most businesses do wrong when they get copied. They panic, right? They start competing on prices, they change their successful model, or they waste energy trying to stop the copying instead of staying focused on what made them successful in the first place. Now, I've seen successful business owners completely destroy their own success trying to fight back against copycats. Meanwhile, the copycats are struggling because they only copied, the surface level stuff, and they don't understand why it works and what's under the hood of your business. And here's the truth. Copying a business model is like copying a recipe without understanding how to cook in the first place, right? You might get the ingredients right, but you'll miss all the nuances such as the timing and the experience that makes it actually work, right? And basically what you'll find is that the businesses that thrive despite being copied are the ones understanding this and focus on building advantages that cannot be replicated easily. Right? Now, let's focus on the things and let's talk about what copycats cannot steal. And let me show you the specific things that makes your business truly defensible, right? Because these are the things that copycats never steal in the first place. Number one is your relationships and your trust, right? Competitors can steal your website, your pricing, and even your exact sales scripts or funnels, but they cannot copy the relationship you've built with your clients, your referral partners, and your market specifically. Because trust takes years to build and cannot be replicated overnight. When somebody's already had a great experience working with you, a copycat offering the same service, it simply doesn't matter because your team's expertise and experience, this is the biggest differentiator, right? Competitors can hire similar people, right? But they cannot steal the exact specific experiences your team has gained working within your business, with your clients, or solving your unique problems. And in addition to that, your appointment setters know exactly what questions work with your audience, your closers understand the specific objections your prospects have, and your customer success team knows how to deliver results in and within your methodology. Now, that institutional knowledge is impossible to replicate quickly. Now, the second thing we want to talk about here is your operational excellence, right? Because copycats, they see your marketing and your offer, but they cannot see your internal systems, your quality control processes, or your operational efficiency, right? They might be able to copy what you sell, but they cannot copy how well you deliver it. And in high-ticket environments and in high-ticket businesses, delivery quality is everything, because otherwise later down the line, your entire offer is going to fall through. Right? Now, your market positioning and authority, right, is something that we also need to talk about, because you can copy someone's content, but you cannot copy their reputation, right? And if you're known as the expert in your specific space, copycats start as unknowns trying to play the catch-up game with you, right? And your thought leadership, your case studies, your track record, these are all things that take time to build, right? And cannot be instantly replicated, right? Now, here's what's really powerful. While copycats are busy building or basically copying your current model, you've already started building your next version, right? So therefore, they're always one step behind. So copying, yesterday's strategies is just a waste of time when you are implementing ahead of time and implementing tomorrow's strategies, right? Because again, there's a delay between what they see and what you're working on. And your client results and your case studies is another thing that they cannot replicate, and what we should talk about, because competitors can claim that they get the same results as you do, but they cannot steal your actual case studies and client testimonials, right? And again, social proof is earned, not copied, okay? Now, let's talk about the copycat trap that actually destroys your business, right? Now, again, let me start by showing you the biggest mistake business owners make while they get copied, because this mistake can destroy everything you've built, and you really want to avoid this. And that is the race to the bottom, okay? Because when you see competitors copying your model at a lower price, your natural instinct is to lower your prices as well. And this is business suicide, okay? Price competition only works if you have the lowest costs, right? And copycats often have lower costs because they're cutting corners on delivery, team quality, or perhaps customer service, right? And when you compete on price, you're competing on their terms, not yours. Okay. Now, I've seen businesses or business owners completely change their successful model because a competitor copied it in the first place. This is absolutely insane if you think about it, right? Because if something is working so well that others are copying it, why would you stop doing it in the first place? Now, instead of abandoning what works for you, you should be doubling down on it and making it even better, right? Because the worst thing about dealing with copycats is the mental energy it takes, right? Because while you're obsessing over what your competitors are doing, you're not focused on serving your clients, improving your offer, or growing your business in the first place. Because your competitors want you to be distracted. They want you to waste your time and energy fighting them instead of building your own business, right? So some business owners respond to copying by adding more features, more bonuses, more complexity to their offer. And this usually makes things worse and not better in the first place, because complexity, it doesn't create a competitive advantage. Excellence does, right? So you might be sitting there asking yourself, well, Craig, so what's the right way to respond when competition copies my business model, right? Now, here's the strategy that actually works. Number one, double down on what makes you different. So instead of changing your model, make it even better. If your sales process is being copied, make your sales team even more effective in the first place. If your marketing is being copied, make your positioning even stronger. Now, the goal here is to be so good at what you do that even if somebody copies your exact structure, they cannot match the execution of your offer. Okay? Now, what you should be doing is investing in uncopyable advantages, right? So what I mean by that? Well, focus your resources on building advantages that cannot easily be replicated, right? Things such as team expertise and training, right? Operational systems and processes, client relationships and retention, maybe your market authority and your thought leadership, right? Or maybe it's just your innovation and your product development or your product line development, right? All these things take time and consistent effort to build, right? Which means copycats cannot just steal them overnight. Okay. Now, the next thing you can focus on is just speeding up your innovation cycle, right? So while competitors are copying your current model, you should already be testing and implementing improvements, right? Stay ahead by constantly evolving your offer. Now, this doesn't mean changing everything, right? It means making incremental improvements that compound and stack over time, right? The next thing you should be focusing on is your client success and not the competition, okay? Because the best defense against your competition or against copycats is having clients who are so happy with your results, they wouldn't dare consider switching to a competitor regardless of the price, right? And again, this just makes, you got to make sure that you take care of your clients. That's where it comes down to. Because when your clients are getting exceptional results and having a great experience, copycat competitors, they literally become irrelevant. Apologies, my mic died halfway through. But like I was saying, you have to make your products and or service so expensive that it's difficult for your clients to leave. Now, this doesn't mean, you need to include penalties in your contracts or so on and so forth. It basically means that you need to be so intrigued into their success that switching would be disruptive and risky to their business. Now, the one thing you can do is just leverage your head start, right? Think about it. You have experience that your competitors don't have. You've made mistakes that they haven't made. And you've solved problems that they haven't even encountered in the first place. So use this knowledge to your advantage to stay ahead of them. And again, this is exactly why the team you have built becomes your strongest competitive advantage. Because, for an example, here at Sales Match, we don't just place any salespeople specifically. We place elite performers who become part of your most competitive moat. And when competitors basically copy your business model, they can steal your pricing, your marketing, even your sales scripts, but they cannot steal the relationships your appointment setters have built with your prospects or the expertise your closers have developed in your specific market because of them selling that product or service over and over and over again. And again, our appointment setters don't just book calls, they become the trusted voice for your brand. And our closers that we place within your business, they don't just follow scripts, right? They develop a deep understanding of your prospects' unique situations and how to position your brand and your business as a solution, right? Now, again, this is institutional knowledge, and these relationships become impossible for your competitors to replicate quickly. And again, when you have elite performers on your team, they can focus on strategy and growth instead of constantly managing and training people, right? Now, while your competitors are scrambling to build teams that can execute their copied model, you're already optimizing and innovating. So again, if you're looking for appointment setters or top closers, we can absolutely go out and find and recruit them and do all of the vetting process. If you're interested in that, more on the links down below. But other than that, I really hope this video helped you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.